And somebody told him, his servant Gehazi told him, said, you know, this woman doesn't have a child. And he began to then prophesy to this woman. And he said to her in verse 16, about this time next year, you shall embrace a son. She said, no, my Lord, man of God, do not lie to your maidservant. But the woman conceived and bore a son when the appointed time had come, of which Elisha had told her. And the child grew. And now it happened that one day that he went out to his father, to the reapers, and he said to his father, my head, my head. And so he said to a servant, carry him to his mother. Isn't that just like me? And take him to his mama. And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon and then died. May I tell you that even when a child leaves his mother's lap, he never leaves her heart. And she went up and she laid him on the bed of the man of God, shut the door upon him, and went out. The very place that she built for somebody else's son, now she's got to take her own son there. And then she called her husband and said, please send me one of the young men and one of the donkeys, that I may run to the man of God and come back. And so he said, why are you going to him today? It is neither the new moon nor the Sabbath. And she said, it is well. Never let him see you sweat. And then she saddled a donkey and said to her servant, drive and go forward. Do not slacken the pace for me unless I tell you. In other words, put the pedal to the metal. And so she departed and went to the man of God at Mount Carmel. And so it was, when the man of God saw her afar off, he said to his servant Gehazi, look, the Shunammite woman, please run now to meet her and say to her, is it well with you? Is it well with your husband? Is it well with the child? And she answered, it is well. Now, the truth of the matter is that all hell had broken loose. The truth of the matter is that what was dear to her had died. The very thing that God had apparently given to her as a prophetic promise had died. And what do you do when the very thing that it looks like God had given you is no longer well? It didn't just get sick, it died. But when they asked her the question, is it well with you? Is it well with your husband? Is it well with the child? She said, it is well. You know, we have to be sort of like God, who calls those things that be not as though they already were. Stop saying what you have and start having what you say. It is well. I know you got a lot of stuff to complain about. I mean, if we were to open it up, you know, everybody, you know, you got a lot of stuff to complain about. You know, there are people that, because I'm such an upbeat person, that assume that Bishop Bronner doesn't ever go through anything. He doesn't live. He's just a blessed man and highly favored, and all of that is true. May I just remind you, though, that individuals who are blessed and highly favored of the Lord, may I tell you that they go through things as well? Do you think that you can be in a position of leadership, dealing with human beings, and not have challenges? Do you think that you can be a husband and not have challenges, be a wife and not have challenges? Do you think you can be a father of 5 children and not have challenges? Do you think that your body can be growing older and you can be under the stress and duress of travel and other folks, you know, that are outside pulling on you and not have issues? But I declare that it is well. I'm not going to mealy mouth and bellyache and whine and gripe. I have a confession of my faith that it is well. I want to have those things that I say. It is well. I'm going to declare it is well. You know, I mean, everybody, when you see folks that you just swear that they have it going on, I can tell you that there are some situations that are on intensive care in their life. And you know, mama got to put her makeup on and keep smiling. I mean, if she doesn't feel it, she got to draw her eyebrows where her eyes look like they're going up anyway. And so I want to talk to you for just a few moments about divine checkups, because she said, it is well, it is well. He said, how is it with you? And she said, it is well, it is well, it is well, it is well. And you know, practically all of us at some point or another, we're going to find ourselves in a doctor's office or a hospital, if for nothing else, a wellness checkup, or for some type of problem, for some type of symptom that has developed. You know, babies are taken for wellness exams and the immunizations that they go through when they're born, and every 2 months you got to take them back and they got to aggravate your baby and shoot them up with some stuff and trying to immunize them. And athletes go for sports physicals, and women go so they can get on the birth control, and then when they get pregnant they go to the prenatal care and all of that, and other adults go to annual physicals, and we have our geriatrics that go just because. But oftentimes you'll discover that what sends men to the doctor, outside of perhaps a routine checkup, probably more than anything else, is because he's in pain. When men go to the doctor, my goodness, it's let me tell you, they've already written it out at home waiting for it to pass. But you know that pain is actually a good thing, because our bodies were designed to feel pain to indicate to us that something is wrong. And not feeling pain can be a dangerous, dangerous thing. Pain accompanies hurt. We cannot live life without experiencing some kind of hurt. There's going to be something at some point in your life that's going to go wrong. Even when somebody has prophesied good things, there's going to be something that threatens the very life and the joy that God has given to you. You know, a young man this week told me of a relative of his, 16 years old, who is autistic, and he cannot feel pain. And so he was playing some kind of sport, and he just really busted his big toe and couldn't feel it and didn't know it until his mother was checking his body out the next day, trying to help him get his shoes on, and the shoes wouldn't go on because of the severity of the injury and the swelling, and the boy had no clue that anything had happened. You see, pain warns us of injury that has been sustained and things that actually need attention. It's a healthy thing to hurt. When you feel pain, it is a sign that you are still alive. I mean, what is worse, if you get injured and you can't feel your legs, that's a bad thing. So pain is actually on our side. Pain lets us know when we need a checkup. And pain is often the sign of dis-ease, disease, dis-ease. And so when you generally go in for a checkup, there are some routine things that happen in the process of a checkup. And so I want to talk about a divine checkup, because when things happen, there is a prophetic word that comes to say, is it well with you? Is it well with you? Is it well with your husband? How's your marriage? How are you doing? Now, how is your relationship doing? Now, how are your offspring doing? And you know, these are the closest relationships that we have. It didn't ask about your coworker on the job. Because if your coworker is going through something, guess what? You can live and you'd sleep pretty well. But if something is wrong with you, you don't sleep well. And if something is wrong with your spouse, you don't sleep well. And if something is going on with your children, you don't sleep well. And so the prophet asked them, is it well with you? Look at your neighbor and say, how you doing? Is it well with you? Is it well with your relationship that is in your home? Is it well with your children? Is it well with your children? Well, when you go in for a regular checkup, one of the things that they do is that they take your temperature. They'll stick something under your tongue, under your arm, somewhere. You know, babies, they get a rectal thermometer. Thank God that we grow up.